ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you are tuned in to Mind Your Biz, our primary channel, be aware there's a link in the description that will bring you to the new channel where we're simulcasting to the new Mind Your Biz. That's right, we have a new home. We're going to talk all about that in just a minute while I continue setting up the live stream. Do be sure that you click over to the new channel just as soon as possible. We're going to be cutting the live stream on the primary Mind Your Biz channel in just a minute or two. So this is technically just a placeholder. So just so you know, we're not going to camp out there for very long. That will cut short and the full live stream will be available over on the secondary channel. Follow the link in the description so you're not left behind. And if you're new here, do be sure that you're subscribed to the channel. If you're new to the new channel, if you haven't clicked over just yet, sharing is caring. Click all those buttons. Be sure that you're subscribed to both. We do need your help to build up the new channel, and be sure that your notifications are turned on over there the same way that you have them turned on the primary channel here. We don't want you left behind, so be sure you click all the buttons there. Still setting up the live stream from our end here. I see Galo Salome in the chat. Gandalf Gray over the new channel. Appreciate you being here. Stereo 2 is also in the new channel. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for sharing the live stream, the link while we're live. That's huge. Absolutely incredible. Welcome back. My name is Seth. You're watching Mind Your Biz. And yes, this is proof of live stream. We are simulcasting to both the old channel and the new. We're going to do this for just a couple of episodes. This is your warning. If you're over on the old channel, we're going to go over a couple of opening items, probably the Crypto Fear and Greed Index, a couple of other small items. But what you're missing out on is the news regarding the Nomad hack, news regarding the ZB hack, or the ZB exchange hack, the news regarding the Solana wallet hacks. So much that's going on that we're going to cover in tonight's live stream, in addition to our typical coverage of portfolios, our typical coverage of proof of work coins, our top picks for what we think will be the successor to Ethereum in proof of work on GPU mining. If you're interested in any of that stuff or all that stuff, you're going to miss it on the old channel. Got to come to the new channel. Be sure you're subscribed. Click the thumbs up and the bell icon. Turn on notifications all across the board and tell a friend. That's the thing. That's half the reason that we went to the secondary channel, is that unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess, with YouTube, numbers matter, right? So strength in numbers is a big thing. And when YouTube sees larger numbers of people, they take it seriously. So your support means the world. Go be supportive of the new Mind Your Biz, the secondary channel. I wouldn't call it a backup channel right now. This is more of an experiment, and I'm openly talking about how this is an experiment. I'll do a full episode, I think, at some point in the future, talking about how I got into this sort of new MO and why we went to this new channel, what it is we're trying to do here, trying to achieve over on Mind Your Biz. But the primary thing is, I do this for you, right? You're the reason I make this media. So that's the bottom line, is that we're on a new channel to help serve you that much better. So if you're interested in all those things that I talked about before, click over to the link you see down in the description of this video. I'm going to cut the primary channel video. So, all right, guys, I warned you. We'll see you on the other side. All right, nobody here but us secondary channel people. That stream was cut, so it's just us over here. And yeah, signal should be coming through pretty strong. I'm seeing a lot of folks in the live view stats, a lot of new folks in the live view stats. Do hit that thumbs up. Every time you click those buttons, YouTube says, you know what? Crypto is probably not bad. we should probably stop trying to ban this content. And then they change their hearts and minds just a little bit. That's pretty much what happens. It's kind of like Tinkerbell and clapping, right? You change their hearts and minds, tiny steps at a time. All right, so make sure that we have the right support going into this live stream. Thank you for sharing. Again, I'm seeing that like count go up, seeing that concurrent viewer count go up, seeing Sean C, New World Crypto, sub to the new channel. Appreciate you being here. Aussie Bogan Tech also here. Stereo 2, also the banter guys. I definitely appreciate that. Thank you so much for that. Why don't we jump headfirst into the Fear and Greed Index? This is something that, of course, we just take a look at on a regular basis. Not too difficult to read this chart, to read this info. Current score of 31. And current trend pretty much unchanged. We're in fear, but we're not in extreme fear at anymore. Why is that? Well, my take on it is that it's a counterindicator, and my take on it is that it's largely driven by the Bitcoin price, which is kind of backwards, right? And I am seeing a very strange pattern in Bitcoin right now. I can't pretend to understand fully how this works, but I am seeing it kind of pop up, have a couple of green candle days, and then kind of bleed out slowly. But it is finding higher lows as we go. Let me show you what it is that I mean. So without giving any kind of financial advice, we're just looking at the charts very simply here. You see what I'm talking about there, right? Zoom in a little bit the last couple of days. Since it broke out of our chopstick pattern, right? Patented chopstick indicator. You can see right here that it's had green candle days and then bleeding out. Green candle days, then bleeding out. This is the daily chart, and I'm just using the simplest free tools over on tradingview.com. Just have the MACD down here so we can see that we're at a convergence point right now, and it looks as though we're going to flip into bearishness, right? To print a bearish histogram, but we haven't for a few weeks now, and it's been kind of weird, right? Like that pattern doesn't seem normal. It doesn't seem, air quotes, normal. Normally we get kind of a couple of large waves in that MACD bullish histogram, and then we see that it flips into bearishness for a while, and then it returns. If we look back over the history here, the only time that we saw this kind of pattern was on the bearish side as it started to bleed out after its last all-time high, right? So we had a couple of really interesting things happening on the charts, and the MACD kind of revealed some awkwardness there as well. Same with just before, as it was bleeding out from the previous leg up and then moving towards another leg up, right? We had a negative histogram, or a bearish histogram, printing that same kind of pattern, showing the same kind of pattern on the MACD. Again, are these like official indicators? No, they're not official indicators, but as patterns go, as fractals go, it's interesting to look back and figure out, like, is there anything that matches? Well, history doesn't always match, doesn't always repeat. It does kind of rhyme, so to speak. So getting some of those indicators can be a very useful thing. But I think it's very strange that we're seeing higher lows, right? We're seeing higher lows, but we're seeing a repeated pattern at this point, which I think we're going to have interrupted. Generally speaking, rule of threes, right? We don't normally get to threes in this market, just because of the amount of manipulation, obvious strong manipulation that we're getting, right? We had a bounce, and then we had a breakout, right? Or kind of a weird crab kind of breakout. So I think now we're going to get a leg up, we're going to get a leg up, and then we're going to have some kind of a pattern interrupt. Who knows what it's going to be? And it's not me using any kind of fancy technical analysis. It's me just using fundamental analysis and a little bit of game theory, right? Whoa, we got a lot of folks coming into today's live stream. Just noticing our current view count, seeing those likes go up as well. Really appreciate that. Thank you. That's kind of odd, but I appreciate the warm reception, appreciate you hitting that thumbs up, and appreciate you sharing this while we're live. It's huge that you share this while we're live. And yeah, again, very, very cool that we have new friends over here on the new channel. The most important thing is that we keep the fam together. So if you know anybody from a Discord channel, Discord server, or from Telegram groups who potentially was tuning in before in the old channel, do link them to the new channel and to tonight's live stream. That'd be awesome if you do that. Thank you in advance. We have so much news coming out of so many different sectors, but the top news has to do with the hacks, the ZB hack. And I'm going to just give you guys this one, give you an audible on this one. ZB, a centralized exchange that was touted as unhackable, was hacked for nearly $5 million. We also have some update on the Solana wallet hack. I'm just going to go over this like just off the dome as well. I don't have a visual aid for this one. Kind of an odd thing for me, but my visuals are not totally set up for this live stream, guys. In order to get the work items done that needed to get done today, some of the visuals, the website visuals, have just not been prepared. So apologies. I know it's a weird thing. Are we off to a bad start? Nah, I don't think we're off to a bad start. I think it's just that there's been so much news that we're we got to go over it verbally. But the Solana hack, it has grown to about 8,000 wallets that have been hacked, that have been compromised, and the contents of those wallets have been drained. Now, what happened there? Was that a phantom wallet issue? Was it a Solflare issue? Was it a specific wallet issue? No, it wasn't actually. So the update on Solana was that it had to do very specifically with a platform, right? So if you had your private keys pass through a platform at any given point, then this specific platform, then that would have been why your private keys were stolen. Essentially, it was let's see, make sure I have my notes here just correct. It is the Slope wallet specifically. So Slope wallet was the culprit. Let me pull up just a little something as a just a little something as a visual aid here, because I do feel kind of bad about not having some visuals here. So let's pull this up from the block, crypto, and Slope wallet. They saved seed phrases in plain text. We were driving to find an answer. We were trying to figure out what exactly happened. This was just released this morning, but Slope wallet had the seed phrases in plain text. What does that mean? All that means is that there was no encryption that was applied to these seed phrases. So, like, they weren't stored in any secure way. This would not have passed security standards, even by old school like bank security standards, like best practices for banking and fintech security standards. This is a very sloppy job. This was not okay. And in crypto standards, man, I mean, we're talking about people's seed phrases here. We're talking about stuff that already has encryption as a primitive, encryption as a native element, and they didn't store it encrypted. It was in plain text. Now, that made it possible for those seed phrases to be found as a honeypot, and so only the seed phrases that had been put into Slope wallet, so whether that was you setting up your wallet on Slope or setting up your seed phrase on Slope wallet, or it was you importing your seed phrase into Slope wallet, if you had even set up your wallet on, say, like a Trezor or a Ledger, that means that not only were your Solana assets compromised through Slope wallet, it means your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, your IBC, right? Your Cosmos and IBC assets, your Polkadot assets, all of your alt chain assets, EVM assets, they were all put at risk by putting your seed phrase into the Slope wallet. So huge hack with far more far-reaching implications than just Solana. There are a lot more people who are going to get wrecked than people even realize. Anything for Clicks asks, what's Slope wallet? Thank goodness you have to ask that, because I did too. I've never used it. That should tell you something, right, about Slope wallet, is that it's not something that's popular enough that most of us even started to use it. So let me go ahead and pop open a little search here. Slope wallet is, and we're going to do a little bit of, education here. This is my search extension, but we'll go into chrome.google.com. So we see right here, first off, this is my de-Googled browser, but Slope wallet, there we go, Web3 Navigator. Apparently, it's still up with no updates since July 28th. What gives? How can this not already be taken down? Yeah, but it's got 80,000 users. Sean C. New World Crypto says, I had never heard of it before the hack either. So, yeah, I mean, it took me off guard. It didn't seem like it was impactful enough compared to Phantom Wallet or even Solflare or anything else that does have full support for a hardware wallet, a hardware private signing device, private key signing device. And that for me was a hard standard. I had a bunch of people when I first got exposure to Solana saying like, well, you got to get in because DGen's going to do what DGen's going to do. Like, you got to get the NFTs, you got to get free mints. You got to do all these other things. You know how people get irrational around new projects. And it's one thing when that's legitimately true. It's a different thing when it's a VC-backed, largely centralized project like Solana is. And you know, like, nah, you guys have the resources to be able to do a hardware-backed software solution, right? So hardware wallet-backed software solution. You can do that integration with Ledger. And they did. They wound up being able to do it. There was only one wallet that did initially, and then Phantom Wallet added support for it, which was kind of the darling of the industry. Everybody loves Phantom Wallet in the Solana ecosystem. So I said, okay, fine. I can do this provided I have a hardware signing device. And I jumped in. But from day one, I've only ever used Solana wallets that allow for a Ledger private key signing device. Hey, appreciate you guys being in the chat. Gordon Murray says, is this live? Is this live? Are you Uncle Seth? Has this been hacked? Are you about to show me something? Is there going to be a link down in the description that brings me out to some kind of seed phrase phishing site? I mean, those things could still happen. Don't get me wrong. Like, this could be a long game. I could really be in this for the long con. That could happen, Gordon Murray. But I think reading your comment probably proves that we are live. So appreciate that for sure. But yeah, with Solana, guys, Slope Wallet absolutely does. Gordon Murray asks, how many channels do you have? This is brand new. So here's the full story, guys. Right now, there are 2 official Mind Your Biz channels. There is a secondary channel. This is technically the secondary channel right now. We are trying a little experiment. We're going to try to recondition a channel that I acquired through different means. And I want to start using this as my primary channel and using the other channel as my backup or secondary channel. And how does that work? Well, the other channel is also linked to Odyssey. So that would be the backup channel where everything goes over to Odyssey, right? It's automatically backed up to Odyssey. And then this would be the primary channel for things like animated explainers, for things like tutorials, for, of course, the live streams as well. And then for the daily news update, which we're going to, well, not daily, but multiple times per week news update where we go over several news articles, and that can be done live. So I'm looking at revamping the content schedule in a major way just for this channel, and that's why I pulled the trigger on it at the same time that I redid my content schedule. That's a long story, but to make it short, I want to provide better value for you guys. That's the long and the short of it. I want to have a better content stream and more consistent content publishing schedule, and have that actually, have there be like tonight where we have things scheduled in advance, and can start just doing the talking head videos, live stream content like this, where we do the news articles at times that make sense for you. So I've been going evening time, PST standard, might start going a little more to like morning time, because I know that's when a lot more people are available, just before lunch. Or just after lunch, depending on where you are. U.S. time, right? All the U.S.-based time zones. And then, of course, North and South America time zones. That's just a little bit easier. Especially in the morning. Makes it a lot easier for our friends across the pond who are in Western Europe. Eastern Europe, it's like never a great time, right? But Western Europe, it makes it possible as well. So we may be looking at a morning time as well. I'll just be dialing that in based on the analytics from this new channel, because there's quite a bit to synthesize there. But the bottom line is, I acquired a second channel. Did I strategically acquire it? Vis-a-vis like Bootcamp? Yes, I did. I strategically acquired it. So here we are with a strategically acquired channel, which I think is going to do really well. And if we can all rally around it, then it helps the Mind Your Biz community grow that much faster, helps us to add more perks, helps us to get more perks from future sponsors, free NFT drops, free hardware drops, additional coin and coin bounties and other perks from the crypto and blockchain partners that we work with in order to do their tutorials and do their value added reviews and unboxings. It just all gets better for you if we can make this new channel work. Anyway, yeah, Gordon says, awesome, dude. Hope it works out. Hey, that makes 2 of us, right? At least 2 of us. Maybe we can make it more than 2 people, and it really works. Dynamite Mining says it's a wise move. I appreciate you saying that. We'll see how well it works out. YouTube, being what it is, also has a very, very finicky algorithm. It is a fickle mistress, so we will see how we approach it and how we appease it and how we get this done. So this, as a test, I'm planning to do well into 2023. So that's kind of the roadmap for this new channel. 2023, as I said before, I'm not going anywhere. I'm publishing founder interviews. That should be obvious. I'm publishing founder interviews. I'm doubling down on the same things that I did back in 2018 when we saw bear market conditions, and 2019 when we saw bear market conditions. Your boy is not going anywhere. That's the bottom line there as well. But that's going to look like this new channel, higher visibility, greater reach, and a lot more aggressive pursuit of developer and founder interviews, right? So we want to talk to builders. If you know builders, get me in touch. And the way that we want that to work is we want this community, the Mind Your Biz community, to be the beneficiaries of those conversations. We want to help founders get their message out. And if there are community bounties, we want those to go to the community, the Mind Your Biz community. Right, so that's my commitment to you. But get me connected with those groups that you're most interested in. Let's get those bounties distributed to the Mind Your Biz community. I mean, I could set up a DAO or something too, right? That might be a way to do that, to ensure that there's tokenized incentive and that it's properly aligned there. So let me know if that's something that interests you, having a DAO that does that. It would be the first channel that's ever done it, but I like the idea. And I think that it's probably time that we started to do that and had those kinds of incentives on chain visible. So it's less weird, right? When people say like, okay, well, where did this come from? And was there a payout? And did any kind of value exchange hands? Well, why don't we just do away with all the question marks and turn it into a properly incentivized structure so the community gets to see where those payments came from and gets to benefit from it. So without like peddling securities, just a DAO where people who are involved get compensated. Anyway, I'm kind of spitballing here, way off track, but since we're starting in a new position together, and since I've been asking your permission since, for a while on the other channel, I want to ask your permission and work with you and work together here on the new channel. But let me know. Let me know, right? There are a lot of moving parts, and not the least of which is having a regular schedule here with a more visible channel. So appreciate your support here at the new channel as well. All right, let's jump back into the content. We've seen what Slope Wallet is, where it came from, the fact that it's over on the Chrome web store. That's interesting, but we've been using so many of these types of tools, right? We're so addicted to not even just browser-based plugins, but Chromium-based plugins. I know for my part, there are a couple of wallet plugins that are essentially Chromium only. Kepler Wallet is still not available on Firefox. That's a huge downer. Rabby Wallet, which is meant to be a competitor to MetaMask, is not available on Firefox. What a huge, it's not even a swing and a miss. It's just a miss. They don't even know the ball's flying right past them, right? Where they're just sitting there eating their own boogers, right? It's not even like a swing and a miss at something that's pitched at them. It's friggin' T-ball. You got to know that when people use browsers, they use Firefox too, right? So what a bummer. And if you're aware that people use Firefox, then you're actually also building for the official Tor browser. So what a world, right? All of our crypto wallets live as browser extensions and primarily for Chromium, for Google Chrome. I wish we could just move away from it. That'd be so cool if we could mostly de-Google our lives. Because here on YouTube, what Google knows about me is what I send to them in something called an RTMP stream. Not much. They don't know much about me, right? The rest of my system is hardened with VPNs and properly hardened by way of penetration defenses for internet, right? Security. So yeah, it'd be so cool if we could otherwise de-Google our lives, wouldn't it? I would like that. Anyway, Sean C says, when you can't fit enough wisdom and insight into one channel, Mind Your Biz simply gets another channel. Ozzy, you're way too kind, my friend. You really are. You're way too kind. Also, I got a request to go to Blockchain Futurist Conference in Toronto, but I got that request today to jump on a flight this Sunday to be out in Toronto, or I guess to go the Niagara Falls way. So we just meet up in New York and we just take the bus to out to Toronto together or whatever. Grab a rental car or something. I don't know if I'm going to make it. That's undetermined as of tonight, but I just wanted to let you know. You may have a little bit of Mind Your Biz FaceTime out in Toronto if you're out in the area. Let me know if that were to happen. Would that influence your decision to go? Would you want to go to the Blockchain Futurist Conference in Toronto if you knew I was there to do a little meet and greet? Would you want to have a little meetup in Toronto, either Monday, Tuesday, or either Monday, Tuesday night, or possibly for a luncheon on Wednesday of next week. If you knew that we could do kind of a, kind of a community meetup. Gordon Murray says Canada isn't a free country. Be safe. I keep hearing this. I'm very aware of the situation there, which is why I was reluctant to go, but I am being asked very urgently. It sounds pressing from the parties that are asking me to go, but we're not sure. So the point is, if we do decide to go, if I do decide to go, do you want to meet up? Any of our Canadian friends, any Canadian community, or any of our friends who are out near Buffalo Way, right? So if you are upstate in New York, do you want to meet up? Let me know, and we can see what gets done there, see if we can make that happen together as a community. The ZB hack, I mentioned it before, gave you an audible on that. The Solana update, we saw the culprit was actually Slope. So if you were using Phantom Wallet, if you were using Soulflare, and if you had never used Slope before, you're probably fine, first off. If you were using a hardware wallet and you'd never imported your seed phrase into a third-party wallet, you're probably fine. But the bottom line is, today, if you know you still have funds, you should be using a hardware wallet as of today, and then sweep your funds into the hardware wallet as soon as possible. Xander Coin Miner is in the chat, says, mineyour.biz, sup, MYB. Thank you for saying hello. Definitely appreciate that. And good to see you here, Xander Coin Miner. Guys, do be sure that you follow all the homies who are in the chat. There are a lot of people who are also content creators who are commenting, and sharing is caring. I say it all the time, and it's not just a phrase, guys. People who are whatever, been bad actors in the past and just bounced, then they take care of themselves. They self-term. That's just how that goes. People who are not great for the space, they wind up not feeling very comfortable before long, and they wind up just taking off. That's just how that happens, right? It's just like with your friend groups, just like with work, professional associations. People just kind of tend to fall off if this isn't a good fit for them, or if they're not a good fit for this. So those who are around, yeah, I mess with you. We can hang, right? And I'll send subscribers your way wherever I can. Also, do hit me up about having collab content, crossing over, being interviewed, and having that debuted here on the new Mind Your Biz secondary channel. All right, guys, let's go back into a little bit of the news cycle. I got the Nomad hack is still a big news item. Why? Because some of the funds have been returned. Initially, it was about $9 million of the funds, and it looks like at this point, it's roughly $20 million so far that the attackers returned. And it's kind of funny because the attackers the Nomad group was like, the bridge group, Nomad, said, if you're white hats and you were just kind of testing to see how things went, we've got a way for you to return the funds, and there won't be we won't get the police or the authorities involved. And it's you do realize that, people who can steal crypto usually, nowadays especially, tend to be pretty good at hiding that crypto. It's not like back in the day with the Bitcoin hacks where the UTXO systems basically tattle on you forever. No. In Ethereum, in Web3, especially EVM chains, where that you can get your hands on some of the Tornado cashable tokens, right? Your stables, your USDTs, your USDCs, your DAIs, your wrapped Bitcoins, or your ETHs. Nah, man, that stuff is gone. It's gone. They can throw it into a ZK-enabled smart contract. They can let it sit there and mix 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 for days and weeks and months. And once they get that secret key, once they get it is the signature, right? They can then export that to some other freshly provisioned wallet. It's pretty much gone. What am I saying? I'm saying that, yeah, this hack, the fact that anything was returned, it really does show that they were good dudes. It really does show that they were pretty well-meaning. So yeah, if you have $190 million that has been stolen and they return even $1, they're pretty good dudes. They didn't have to do a thing. They didn't have to return a thing. In part because these are not regulated markets in the same way, and depending on how you have the system set up, if it's a decentralized bridge, then it's not governed by any of the same rules that the FBI would take seriously. So you can call the FBI on a hack like this, and again, not legal, financial, or business advice. Do I have to red screen? Yeah, I probably do now. We've talked a lot about a lot of different topics that would probably require a red screen, but this one in particular, I'm not trying to interpret the law by any stretch, but it seems like in terms of precedent, the FBI FBI don't get involved for less than a few $1,000,000. And when there is more than a few $1,000,000, the FBI can only touch what it can actually touch. So something like this, where you've got a decentralized bridge, what can the FBI do about it? A little bit of forensic work, maybe. But are they going to try to claw back funds for you? Yeah, from whom? There are no official investors. There are no contracts. There's nothing that there's no legal entity that they can hold accountable, right? And slap criminal charges on. So a much more tricky thing. The fact that these attackers chose to return anything at all means they're pretty good dudes. But yeah, they walked away with a $170 million payday for that hack. That is the bug bounty of a lifetime. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why so many people are interested in developing in cryptocurrency, right? In the blockchain space, Web3. It's growing like crazy. So they have had more returned, which is a pretty cool thing. It's a pretty good look for them to have returned anything more or much more. It's entirely possible that they were, maybe kind of related to insiders. So maybe they were aware of the amount of damage that it was going to cause to investors. And that may be, who knows, maybe why they chose to return some of those funds was to ensure they didn't cause undue damage to investors that were going to get totally wrecked. That said, it's a decentralized bridge with over 190 million. Clearly, that's a lot of damage, right? Clearly, that's going to hurt retail participants. Clearly, there are going to be people who put in $1,000 into a bridge and lost everything based on this hack. So I guess these guys are helping themselves feel better at night, sleep better at night. Do you think they did the right thing? I know I don't. So when I'm saying that they returned anything, does that mean they're good guys? Yeah, I'm being hyperbolic, guys. I'm not condoning crime. Just because it's Web3 crypto flavored doesn't mean that it's not crime, right? So I'm not condoning crime. Just to say that they didn't have to return anything. It'd be cool if they returned more. It'd be cool if they did just the reverse of that. Like, hey, carve out like a couple $1 million bounty for yourselves, but help these people get made whole, more than 80 or 90%, right? Like, that'd be cool if you could help those retail investors not get wrecked, right? That would actually show that you're good people. So anyway, we've had other hacks that did have a happy ending, a bit closer to that situation, that kind of a play out there. Let's take a look at our TxStreet visualizer. We're going to launch right now just the typical gas fee visualization. It's been great as far as pricing on Ethereum for a while. 3 Gwei? Are you kidding me? Are you out of your mind? 37 cents versus 67 cents, or 36 versus 67, Ethereum versus Bitcoin. I mean, this is amazing. These are the best Ethereum prices we've seen in over a year, right? And they just keep getting better. Now, does that mean you have to go out and use Ethereum? Does that mean that the notional cost of using, or that the proportional cost of using Ethereum won't go up in the future? Well, no, it's not what it means at all. Because if the price of Ethereum goes back up by 400%, then your fees from today go up by 400%, but they will not go up 1,000%. The way that they did before, because of the current low gas fees, right? The very low fees themselves. I think there's a block being written right now for 2 Gwei, just barely creeping up to 3 Gwei. It's pretty amazing. So those are the current transfer fees. Bringing it not recent block, but contract fee. There we go. That's what we want to see. And then gas price, median right there. We already see that it's about 3 Gwei, but transfer fee 32 cents. It just keeps on dropping, guys. The on-chain fees, and then contract fee $1.36. Now, speaking of ZK mixing, speaking of Tornado Cash, if this is the time that you decide, hey, I've got some crypto lying around, I've got some ERC20s lying around, or I've got some Ethereum lying around that I can legally mix, and that is already accounted for my taxes, then might be a good time to do that. These are the best possible times to mix your cryptos, when you know that your transfer fees are very, very low. So, hey, without endorsing it, let me just say you might consider it now. This could be a good time to do it. So those are the current gas fees. Current DeFi Llama situation, not looking terribly different, right? We're not seeing massive swings in the market right now. We've been crabbing sideways on so many fronts. So yeah, at this point, well, let's take a look. Top chat, go to live chat. Make sure I'm not missing anything at this point. All right. Stereo 2. I have nothing to transfer now. Oof. Wrecked. Sorry about that. Keith seems excited about the price of Ethereum as well. Let me put in all of our additional parameters here: borrows, pool 2, and then staking for Ethereum, and well, for all of the different chains. So that will factor into all of them. That does help give Ethereum a lift from 58% all the way up to 64.4%. And it does give us a better representation of the market dominance for Ethereum. It's not going down, guys. It's not going anywhere. And I think what's important to acknowledge as we look at the Ethereum dominance charts is that there are really two dominant players. And you've heard me say it for quite some time, and I was saying it thankfully before it became an obvious dominant player, but Polygon is the other dominant player. Now, what do I mean? BSC has more TVL. BSC has a higher market cap. You also have Avalanche and Phantom that have higher TVL and higher market caps. That's a really cool story. Really, that's a cool story. But when it comes to gasless minting, when it comes to the total number of protocols that support it, when it comes to the number of play-to-earn games, the number of exchanges, the number of NFT platforms, the number of proof-of-work mining pool platforms that all pay out on Polygon and not Phantom and not BSC and not Avalanche, it just dwarfs anything else out there in the EVM space because Polygon was designed to help Ethereum scale. And it's going to continue to do that after the merge. But Ethereum will maintain dominance. And the main beacon chain will, after it's merged, will continue to maintain dominance. Why would I say that? Well, it's going to do that because those projects that don't move with the post-merge beacon chain, they're going to get left behind. You're going to have the links, the chain links, rather the various ERC20 tokens that are most popular, Shiba Inus, everything that is the most wildly successful Inu project, right? Even projects like Hex, right? You can like it, you can love it, you can't really hate it anymore. It just is what it is. But projects like this, they're going to maintain a healthy supply on that main fork of Ethereum. Doesn't matter if a third party wants to fork a new proof of work chain. It doesn't matter if a bunch of miners all decide, like, we're going to do a contentious hard fork ahead of the proof of work change. If USDC, USDT, and DAI go to the post-merge beacon chain, it's game over. That's it. And we'll validate that when we look at our portfolio just a little bit later on. But I'm just saying it here. There isn't going to be a contentious hard fork of the proof of work chain of Ethereum that actually has a future, right? The stables will go where the ETH core developers go. And when they bring the tens of billions of dollars of liquidity with them, every other project that requires stables in order to operate will die. It's that simple. Sean says, Matic has been my second largest holding right behind ETH. Makes sense to me, man. It really does. Now, we did ride, a lot of us rode Matic down pretty hard, right? Like when everything started to move down. So I hope you were able to keep your shirt on there. But yeah, it's a solid project, right? And they're adding more functionality all the time. Ethereum is that number one. BSC is number two, according to TVL. Tron, Avalanche, Solana still magically not dead yet. I don't know how. Only down by 5% in the 7-day. Even after all these hacks, even after all of the more than half dozen validator network restarts, even after people losing their seed phrase and getting completely wrecked, robbed for every last cent of their net worth, Solana manages to be in the top 5. I don't know, man. It's days like today that some people, you know, maybe people become very faithless on days like today. I'll put it that way, where it's like, good Lord, how did this happen? How did we get here? Let's take a look at protocol support, though. And again, let's validate what I mentioned before. Polygon is at number 3 spot again. And when you kind of round up or round down the TVL, you got Polygon looking at close to $2 billion, and you got several others. Here we go back to that stacked ranking again, like Solana, only closer to 3, right? There's only about $500 million, $500 million of difference between these two projects alone. Optimism is below the $2 billion mark, and Avalanche, there is quite a gap there. But Solana and Polygon are getting pretty close, all things considered, to the same TVL ranking. And if the token itself, token price of Solana continues to drop, then who knows? Maybe we'll see a flippening of Solana and Polygon in this stacked ranking. I know certainly with the protocol support, for me, I view that as a more important metric. And that's kept Solana down for a long time. Even Kronos is looking as strong or maybe better than Solana in that respect, right? It's nipping at its heels at above $1.5 billion TVL and the same number of protocols supported. Optimism not far behind it. So between those two as well, right? Sandwich, Arbitrum, Optimism, these direct second layer solutions, genuine second layer solutions for Ethereum, they will have their shot, I think. They're going to stand a really solid chance of doing extremely well in this market after the merge. I think they're going to continue to help Ethereum scale before sharding can happen, right? So all those three sort of chain-specific scaling solutions, Arbitrum, Optimism, and Polygon, I think they're all going to do their part, do a lot of heavy lifting, but Polygon got there first, and it has more than triple the number of protocols supported versus Optimism or Arbitrum. Well, I guess with Arbitrum, a little less than triple, but almost triple for both of those. So why would anybody build anywhere else when Polygon has so much code in production right now? Anyway, that's my take on it, guys. Huge fan there. Stereo2 says, Sean C, with the merge approaching, Matic can get some wings. Yeah, it's true, man. It's absolutely true. I sincerely hope it does get that lift that we're all hoping it will get. But, it's anybody's guess what the merge will actually do to values. Because the merge will validate the investor narratives of like, we told you proof of stake was coming. Like, we expect to see a lift. Most of us expect to see a lift in Ethereum. And because the Ethereum merge is also going to give credence to the Cardano investor narratives of like, see, we told you proof of stake was the future. And the Ethereum core developers proved it for us because they moved to proof of stake. Investors do weird things. These are irrational markets. So we'll have to see what exactly happens after that merge. It's anybody's guess. Ozzy Bogan Tech says China blockades Taiwan's aviation and maritime paths. That keeps going on for some time. It will affect the market big time. Absolutely. That's true. Pelosi is an interesting character. To be a fly on the wall in the Pelosi household. Obviously, you'd be the richest fly in the known universe, right? Because you'd have all the insider secrets. But we'll see what kind of damage she can do across the pond. All right, guys, moving back into DeFi Llama. This is all stuff that you already know, right? We've talked about this many a time. I like covering it just because it does help us keep our finger on the pulse of how many protocols are being supported. And you've heard me talk about that till I'm blue in the face. So yes, Polygon, I think there's still very serious projects that are building on it. And this is not endorsed, but if you check out my most recent interview, I did a free founder interview, just sat down with Bruno Ver from the Niftify project. They only support Ethereum and Polygon. There's several projects that only support Ethereum and Polygon in the NFT and the play to earn space. Because you can build an entire business on that. You can build a multi-million-dollar or multi-billion-dollar business only supporting those two chains. You don't actually have to worry about other chains if you're just getting started out. So, it's not to take anything away from other chains. It's just to say that you could build a business only based on those two. But moving back out from the TVL view of the full market, let's take a look at our Cosmos-based projects right now, trying to figure out exactly how to finish up this side of the segment, guys. But Kava, Osmosis, Thorchain, we've got some building in these areas, but Kava is the one that is maintaining that highest TVL. There's still so much that needs to happen in the IBC ecosystem, guys. Like anybody else, I love the tech. I love that IBC promises to allow for cross-chain swaps, right? Atomic swaps without any headache. It's so simple. It can be done in wallet. It can be done on Osmosis DEX. It can be done in any number of ways, right? Directly on various different DEX sites. And they make it so simple, right? For providing liquidity on Osmosis DEX. If you've never done it, it's actually quite simple. But it's a new paradigm, right? Having to flip the non-native coins onto a different chain in order to do that. But once you do it, it's like, man, it's fast, it's low fee, it works. It works about as fast as Polygon does. I think because Polygon does use a bit of the Tendermint consensus protocol, it's got some shared code base there as well. But IBC it's impressive, guys. I'm really looking forward to seeing more come out of it and seeing some DEXs built, maybe on the secret network, or having there be ZK proofs be a primitive as well with the IBC inter-blockchain communication standard. It'd be pretty awesome to see, but I'm just not seeing it yet, right? Like, we're still so early at this point. It would be awesome to see, but somebody has to build it. So yeah, not a whole lot of TVL there. Let's take a look at our parachains as well. Kind of a similar story, right? We've got $500 million on Parallel, and that's about as robust as it gets. Akala as well, with about $250,000 on the Akala network. So still really early days. And I think that the current market pullback is really doing a number on the building for these projects and the building for these ecosystems, because you've got treasuries that have just taken a harder hit for some of these than they would have if they were in Ethereum, right? Or on an EVM chain where you got so much more liquidity. You've got so many other NFT buyers, so many other high ticket buyers, and so many other investors who are seasoned right in that space and understand Ethereum so well. It's kind of sad to see that the building is slowing down elsewhere. All right, gonna log into got to log into CoinGecko here, guys. My stuff just kind of got a little bit messed up the other day when my mic dropped out. So apologies. There's some stuff kind of not fully set up here for the show. But I got a question coming in from Xander Coin Miner. Appreciate that. Says, what do you think of Ethereum Classic? Bunch of projects coming up in the ecosystem. Well, I appreciate hearing that. We're going to have to take a closer look, that's for sure. I don't have a strong opinion about Ethereum Classic. I certainly don't believe that Ethereum, like for my part, believe that Ethereum Classic is going to be the replacement for Ethereum. I think it's going to be the replacement for proof of work on Ethereum. I think it's going to absorb more hash rate. But I think we would need to see a lot of developers decide that they think proof of work is more important than proof of stake for that change to really happen. And I don't know how many projects are switching from Ethereum back over to Ethereum Classic. Seeing new projects pop up is good. Seeing old projects switch back, in my opinion, would be like best. That would prove to us that, yeah, the developers really want it and can't do without it. All right, guys, let me take a look. You can see all the bright mode. Go back over to dark mode here. Let's take a look at our current costs to mine. And we're going to start off with our cost to mine 1 full Bitcoin. Oh, man. Of course, I say it, and the front end goes to, well, it comes right back up. Ha! Nothing bad happened. I was just a little bit scared there for a second that it was going to not comply. All right. A 104 terahash machine. We're going to go to 3,500 watts as our cost basis, and we're looking at about $9,000, just over $9,000, and 12.5 cents is our break-even price. At 5 cent power, that's what we're doing right there. At 8 cent power, rather, we're doing it at about 14.4 is the cost of our Bitcoin. And I think that that's a sustainable cost. I know that there have been people that have told me the last time that we streamed that they saw Gareth Soloway also share my belief, my sentiment that we're looking at maybe a $12,000 to $14,000 Bitcoin. And I would love to take a look at his indicators. Would you like me to try to get Gareth on the channel? Because I respect the heck out of what he does, and hearing that we kind of have roughly the same target in mind, I'd love to kind of see him work out for us how he came to that number. But you tell me. We're doing more collabs. We're doing more crossovers. We're doing more founder interviews on Mind Your Biz in the new channel. So Gareth Soloway, yay, nay. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down in the live chat or in the comments down below if you want to see Gareth featured on Mind Your Biz. But right now, the cost to mine at about 8 cent power with the most popular, more, next gen, we'll say, Antminer device puts us about that number. I think going a little bit below that might shake out some weak hands, and historically that's pretty common to see during a bear market, see that we're slightly below the cost to produce Bitcoin. It's not a foregone conclusion that the cost to produce Bitcoin is like the floor, that it's definitely in the floor. But yeah, we can see Bitcoin dip below its actual cost. But it doesn't tend to dip too far below for too long. So I still think this is a pretty solid confidence area. In my mind, it makes sense. People who are saying that we're definitely going to see $9,000 Bitcoin, I worry about having that ultra bear case. I worry about trying to tell people that they're going to get orders filled at $8,000 and $9,000 Bitcoin. We kind of look at averages, and we kind of look at probabilities, and we look at sort of kind of more safe and conservative boundaries for stuff on Mind Your Biz. Try to, which is why I had a lot of aversion to projects like Chia Coin, right? And the hype going to Chia Coin. I think it'd be really bad to consistently try to do like the hype and moon boy talk. So yeah, on the flip side, thinking that we're going to get ultra cheap Bitcoin, I don't know, man. It's possible. I won't tell you not to set orders, limit orders at $9,000 for Bitcoin, but I'll just say, like, I wouldn't bank on it, right? I wouldn't count on it. So anyway, Gallo says, I'd like to see $16,000 Bitcoin. Yeah, right. Fair point, right? Let's get our feet back on terra firma here. $16,000 Bitcoin would be the next step, right? Like, we just haven't seen that. We keep talking about lower prices than 16K when all we've seen is 17, wick down to 17K at that. Not even solid 17K for a long period of time. So seeing 16,000, thank you for grounding us, Gallo. Like, we do just kind of need to see that at this point. But yeah, that's our cost to mine 1 volt Bitcoin. Let's take a look at our cost to mine GPU mineable coins. And right now, we're over at whattomine.com. We just have the stacked ranking using the GPUs tab. It's very, very simple. It's only showing us the top 3. You can take a look at previous videos that I've done on how to calculate the best profits for you. There will be an update to that with an updated spreadsheet based on the current best-in-class GPUs. And I think we may just make it very simple, not to delete the Ethereum column, but to minimize the Ethereum column so that you can run all your calculations without Ethereum, right? This website makes it so easy, though, that having the spreadsheets almost doesn't make sense anymore. So here we are. The GPU tab shows us that the RTX 3090 Ti is doing just under $2 of profit a day on Ethereum, no less, down with Ravencoin if you want to mine something natively instead of using Nice Hack, right, and supporting terrorism. Sorry, did I say that out loud? Yeah, I did. So instead of using Nice Hack and supporting terrorism, you can just mine your coins natively, right? So Ethereum or Ravencoin, which is a great coin, guys. I've talked about the issues that I find with it. I've talked about how I have some concerns about it being able to go the distance. It's not an Ethereum replacement. It's not meant to be an Ethereum replacement. There are people who are trying to make it an Ethereum replacement by slapping on an OP return what's the word? IPFS hash pointer, right? A URI that goes over to IPFS. If all that's Greek, it's just to say, like, there are people who are trying to make NFTs on Ravencoin be like a big thing, and it's not the same thing, right? It's not the same thing as having ERC20 or ERC721 or 1155 standards. Those standards came into being over many years, and Ravencoin is still early in its pursuit of having any kind of assets that live on top of a UTXO-based system. It's not bad. I just want to be very clear. It has limitations. That's why you've heard me talk about it in that way before. But I think it's a good project, and I think that the founders and the leadership are very earnest. I think that they really do mean to continue to build, right? So POW, very good choice there, but it's only doing $1.34 per day. Ouch. On the top of the line GPU of this generation. It's just not good enough, guys. It's just not. Equihash 0 and the Ycash coin doing a little bit better, and it might even do better still on that 3090 Ti, but then it's Ycash, and you're stuck with a project or coins that are totally liquid. Conflux, not that bad. And then, yeah, the other options, Ethereum Classic, also not that bad. Probably has a future, as we've discussed so many times in recent history, right? So Ethereum Classic very likely has a future, but is that future to replace Ethereum? Probably not. So just be aware of that too, right? Like, unless there are good bridges that go between Ethereum Classic and Ethereum, I think we're going to have a very difficult time using Ethereum Classic in the near future. I think that's going to be a very intentional sort of jamming of the works, not sabotage per se between Ethereum and Ethereum Classic, but maybe between some competing third parties that want to be the alternative to Ethereum. Probably not the Polygon guys either. And I won't say, yeah, it's definitely going to be those guys, right? Like, it's going to be the guys over at like Avalanche. And I wouldn't say that, but I think we are going to see a little bit of sabotage, a little bit of professional sabotage and industrial sabotage between Ethereum Classic and Ethereum really, really soon, because I don't think anybody who's a diehard ETH supporter wants you to believe that Ethereum Classic is any kind of an alternative. So I think we're going to see some difficulties there. Just calling it like I sees it, friends. We could see some problems there. Hopefully they're not too bad, but I think we will. Ycash showing up a lot on this chart. Ethereum Classic showing up a lot. Neox also showing up a lot using that same POW algorithm. Not sure if that is actually merge mined or if it's just using the same algorithm. Probably just using the same algorithm. And then on down the list, guys, there's not much else that's very noteworthy. Bitcoin Gold is showing up on the list. I forgot that it even existed until I just saw it here, but Bitcoin Gold exists. There you go. UTXO-based system, direct fork of Bitcoin Cash, but GPU mineable. So it's showing some profit right now as well. But your older cards are running out of profit, and the newer cards are not showing enough profit to be worth acquiring at their current prices, even used. So the question is, are you buying GPUs right now? And if so, why? Like, are you buying them for mining right now, or are you buying them for some other purpose? Because I think that we're still not seeing the best possible price for GPUs, in my opinion. Now, guys, I'm seeing the chat. Sean C says, speaking of Gareth Soloway, when you see Gareth on a live stream, he always has several large monitors behind him. With all the monitors, Gareth looks like he's doing a show from NORAD. Yeah, it's true. He does have a lot of monitors. And I just got like bubbles behind me. What does that mean? Does it mean he has a lot of monitors worth of information in his head, and I've just got bubbles? Does the background have to do at all with our content? Could it be that he lives inside of a monitor? His bed is just a giant like bed of monitors. Maybe he's got a bunch of monitors like on stands that like zip ties in between them and just like lays down on them and, you know, just listens to the crunch of old TFT, like little tubes inside there with the mercury vapor issuing out of it. I don't think that's how he lives, but I like to imagine it. And I think that Gareth would, you know, I think Gareth would probably enjoy himself more if he slept on more monitors. Just saying. I enjoy sleeping in this giant cloud of bubbles. But that's our GPU profitability, guys. Take a look at our portfolio. We got the GPU mining portfolio. Flux is top of the list still. It's been maintaining that strength for so long. It's great to see. Yeah, absolutely love it. Absolutely love to see it. Just saying, man. Just saying, you are what you live stream, right? Like, if you are what you eat, then you sleep in what you live stream. There you go. I don't make the rules. It's just another internet rule. It's like rule 30 some odd and a half. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's one of the rules. I don't make them. So GPU mining portfolio, guys, still only one that's been maintaining that strength. Let's take a look at the 7-day trend, though, to see like how the price movement has been. And it looks like Haven has gone up this week. That's nice to see, but Haven itself as a project is definitely still suffering. It's been so much stronger in the past, and at 59 cents, it'll be interesting to see if it can even recover at all. It might not recover. Haven, as we know it, might not come back for a 3.0 or for a 4.0 edition. It went through its first revision, had an inflation bug, or had an arbitrage hack. Went through its second iteration, and its second development team had another arbitrage hack that prevented them from being able to stabilize their algorithmic peg, right, of their stable assets. I don't know if they're going to get a third shot. I don't know how that's going to look. I know a lot of community members have been hopeful that Haven is going to make the cut. I'm not one of those people. I'm not convinced that Haven definitely will. So, yeah, it's here in the portfolio, but you tell me if you're a Haven enthusiast, if you're an aficionado of rare GPU mineable privacy coins, what do you think? Because I'm not super hopeful for Haven at this point. I think it's been too long with only bad news, with no good news at all coming out of the Haven core developer team, that I'm not hopeful that they're going to be able to reverse this. And I think with the total market cap being about 9 million and their fee structure being kind of hampered by how little usage there is of their token, of their coins, that they may cease to have enough operating capital to continue and to survive. That's my take on it, but I could be way wrong. I don't want to FUD Haven either. I get a bad feeling about it. But you tell me, guys, what do you think? All right, Zano also a little over $4 million. That's Conflux also doing great in terms of its overall market cap. Ravencoin also going up. But several coins that have been on the upswing. It's great to see that. Firo, kind of an unsung hero, right? Firo's a great little coin for privacy. They have their own privacy protocol. They've gone through a couple. They had some issues in the past that they actually got over very, very fast. Issued responsible disclosures to other teams, and have continued to build. And they've got about a $30 million market cap. I wonder, though, what that means for them. I know in years past, during bear market conditions, because usage was so low on their blockchain, it got things pretty tight for them as well. So it makes me wonder how Firo's going to do. I think Firo's going to do all right. I think they're going to make it through. I think they've had enough funding to be able to get the stage time and get the screen time and the PR media published that they need to stay visible in this in the current sort of landscape. But I wonder what that means for them in the near future, because it seems like the game has changed so much with all the mega VC backed blockchains that the grassroots projects, or the original projects like Firo that had kind of angel investment, I don't know how they're going to be affected by these current markets. Stereo 2 says, I'm not familiar with Haven. Yeah, that's okay. It's okay not to be familiar with Haven. At this point, it's a legacy project in the blockchain space, has its own dedicated blockchain. Got 2 interviews with them on the previous channel. So I've got an interview with the original founding team, and I've got an interview with the takeover founding team, the second founding team, or the second developer team that took over after they originally abandoned the code. It is an interesting project, and you can find out more about it by looking at that media on mineyour.biz. Guys, this is the legacy stuff that I've been doing for years, and it's oriented towards the community so that so you hear founders talk about their projects, and you have an interviewer, this guy, that can call them on when they're being maybe a little bit, not dishonest, but evasive, and ask them deeper questions about their projects and how it works and if it's sustainable, stuff like that. This matters to me, guys. Like founder interviews are one of the things that I love the most about producing media. The other stuff is good, right? The project reviews, having like wallets and stuff that are sent to me. The Foundation Devices Passport 2 is on its way. On that note, Bitcoin only wallet, stuff like that is fun. Unboxing is fun, and reviewing projects is good, and it's great to pay bills too. When there are additional project reviews that come in, that's all really nice. But the perk for me is being able to meet these people who are building, because, bro, 50 years from now, there's a good bet that at least one of these people who I've interviewed on this channel could be written about in history books. I don't have that. I'm not going to pretend like that's going to be me at any point. But one of these people will be in those history books. And I want to know that I was a part of understanding that and helping to bring that into the world, right? The right way. The Unboxing Project is in the chat, says, yo, I appreciate that. He says, you're right. Unboxing is fun. There you go, guys. Straight from the horse's mouth. Let's see. And then Stereo 2 is going to go check out the other video with the Haven. And I guess I realize I'm waxing poetic there, a little bit poetic. But the point is, like, I love doing the founder interviews, and I've pushed for that for years now. When we had the Blockchain Influencer Awards that approached me a few years back, I did get ranked in that group. Been able to go to it for a couple of years now. I actually have. You want to see something fun? Don't go anywhere. Show and tell. See this? This is the belt from the Blockchain Influencers Award. Oh my gosh, it's so shiny. This is the belt, and this is actually the Crypto Banter belt. Because Crypto Banter was a no-show for the awards ceremony. So if you guys know Ran, I tagged him on Twitter. I tagged Crypto Banter on Twitter, the channel, a couple times. I have their belt. I have the title belt from Crypto Banter. What are you going to do? All right, so Xander Coin Miner says Neoxa attacked last month. I haven't even been following Neoxa at all. So the attack, I wasn't tracking either. We can take a look at that for the next episode, I think. I want to make it a little more tactical, though, guys. I don't want to put you to sleep on today's live stream. But the point is that this is something that's been so important to me, guys, that I've been working on being that guy that can be on stage, that can ask those questions, that can potentially call out bad behavior, that can get those interviews, that can get those phone calls returned, that can get that one-on-one time with a founder, that can ensure that we ask meaningful questions, and that we can also help founders highlight some of the stuff that wouldn't otherwise be exposed in their projects or talked about in their projects unless it was them talking about it. So I interview them, right? So the Unboxing Project says that belt is even better than BitBoy's belt. Lol. I mean, for me, yeah, it's fun because it's like, yeah, I stole it. What are you gonna do? Right? It's like he got his were given to him fair and square. And guys, let's just be very clear. If you have bad feelings towards Ben Armstrong, that couldn't be me. I know the guy too well now, and he's awesome. Like, he's been nothing but awesome to me. Super cool dude. Has given me time on his channel when he didn't have to, has interviewed me when he didn't have to, has gone out of his way to hear me out when I disagree with him, and respectfully disagreed with me, and given me the time of day, right? And been a good sport about it. So when people say like all the bad stuff that they have to say about him, I just don't see it, man. And that couldn't be me. I couldn't talk that way about the guy. I couldn't do it. And I really won't stand for it when other people do, right? So on that note, and now there's always going to be somebody who's like, well, then that means you're not safe. And that means you're a scammer. That means you're actually a shill. Man, no, it doesn't. It means that I know how the game is played. And there's a guy who and he's a guy who did just the content creator game. For me, I'm approaching it a bit differently, right? So, but I'm not going to hate somebody who played a different game, right? And did well at playing a different game. Just throwing it out there, right? So, but yeah, I do like that my belt was stolen. Certified stolen, right? Certified stolen title belt. I got it right here. So, yeah. So, yeah, I appreciate that. Founders and builders, their input matters, and being able to figure out the truth of their project by interviewing them, because then you get to see them as well, right? Like, you can tell when I'm interviewing somebody and they're like, oh, they kind of get nervous, or when they avoid certain questions, or when they try to talk too much about a certain side of the project and avoid another side of the project. And if I ask them something about the technical aspect and they say, well, I can't answer that. Like, all right, man, well, I thought you're a founder of a technical product, though. You should be able to answer some of this stuff. And I'm not going to get too nerdy with you, but you need to have some kind of an answer in an interview, right? So all that stuff comes through, I think. And you guys are the audience that's always been able to see that, right? The Mind Your Biz community, I genuinely feel like, first off, the mining community, some of the most intelligent people in crypto, right? Hands down, because you have to know how it works. The Mind Your Biz community, you're the reason I make this media, because you guys always keep it real with me too. So hey, you didn't ask enough questions or hard enough questions. You guys give me feedback also, right? Steel sharpening steel, and I appreciate that about you. So let me get back out of the way here. Take a look at the rest of our coins here by way of 7-day movement, and we've got a lot that has actually gone up. WisherWorks is also here. Okay, so, yeah, WisherWorks has got some. He's saying something there that I think I understand. Well, yeah, the unboxing project is bringing up some good stuff there as well. What would you guys say if I said that I am gonna ask Richard Hart to be on Mind Your Biz? I do respect him. He's an intelligent guy. He gives people very strong feelings, and then he leverages those really strong feelings for his own marketing benefit. It's pretty brilliant, right? In the same way that you don't have to be you don't have to love the former POTUS of here in the US. You don't have to love that guy to recognize that he worked media so well, right? He worked everybody up into a frenzy and then made them do what he wanted, got them deranged over it. And Richard Hart has a really good sensibility, really good knack for doing that. So I can't hate him for that, right? When people know what to do with the limelight, when they know what to do with attention, and they parlay it into a really solid success story, can't hate them for that. But he's also an intelligent guy. So I like talking to him about all kinds of crazy stuff, right? All kinds of really, really crazy stuff. He's, he has some great insights into health and medicine, into longevity research. He has some really great insights into material sciences. We can talk about all kinds of stuff. He's a very well-read guy. Most people, he speaks in a certain way, but he's a very well-read guy and kind of a modern Renaissance man. In a way, I'm not going to do free PR for him. Just say he's intelligent enough that it's great to be able to talk to him on all kinds of things, because he can actually talk about all kinds of things. Not everybody can. So that's a lot of fun. I do enjoy that stuff. But yes, to your point, only talking about one side of a project and not the other, that's there too. So yeah, that's there too. So I think that it would be good to have that live stream at some point. But just say you guys are on notice. I'm going to do that. I'm going to be pushing for that interview. Hopefully we get that soon. That live stream hopefully is forthcoming. We'll see. Apparently his mom was feeling ill, and I wouldn't blame him for taking a huge break from social media for a while. So we will see. Appreciate you guys hitting the like. The unboxing project gives some phenomenal advice. Says hit the like, y'all. That is advice, right? I'd red screen you, but that is advice. Hit the like. Do it. That's good advice. All right, guys. Jumping out of this view here, take a look at those portfolios a little bit more. Moving from GPU mining portfolio over to our hard drive mining portfolio, and this is where it gets fun. MaidSafe Coin Storage, Sia Coin, Signum, Filecoin, and Chia. There's so many forks of Chia now that you couldn't even keep up with them, right? I don't even know how many forks of Chia there are at this point. I've been promising the poor investor that if and when Chia sees $15, that I would acquire some, right? I'd at least get one whole Chia at that point. Was I going to buy one at $1,600 from one of y'all who like alpha mined it day one? No, I wasn't going to buy a $1,600 Chia. Thanks very much. But would I buy a $15 one? Of course, one at least. Witcherworks has some kind words in the comments. Thanks so much for saying that. I really appreciate that, and I promise I won't let it go to my head. I know I got to get to work every day, guys, like everybody, right? And I got to be here delivering value on a regular basis. That's why this new channel. That's why the new content schedule. That's why the collabs. That's why the founder interviews. So appreciate you keeping me honest. That's the big thing, guys. You guys always do, and I do this for you. So appreciate that. So guys, Chia. Yeah, if we can see $15, I'm getting some. At least one full coin, because then I can be a Chia whole coiner. Finally. I can finally own one whole Chia. I've waited this long. So please, Chia, just go to $15. Do it. All right. If it does, though, I mean, we will see a massive dip in the market cap. Hopefully, the founding team has totally pegged its initial raise from VC capital into US dollars so they have that original treasury. That would be awesome. Let's see. Richardworks is asking about which coin suggesting to mine. I don't know. At this point, I don't make blanket recommendations about which coins to mine, especially when we're in a down market. It's going to be highly personal, right? So if you have a lot of hard drives, you mentioned you have 8 in the channel there, or in the chat there. You have a bunch of hard drives lying around. You might just keep them plotted. Maybe. If you think you're breaking even, you might keep them plotted and try to do the multi-mining to various forks of Chia at the same time. I know there's at least 1 or 2 pools that lets you multi-mine with those plots. So being able to multi-mine with your plotted drives or farm with your plotted drives to multiple forks of Chia, that might be a smart move for you. But then careful how you liquidate them, right? So this is why there's no one-size-fits-all answer, right? So unfortunately. Oh man, the unboxing project got it in early. That's great, man. I love it when people are winning in the space. Just to say, for my part though, I won't be somebody's exit liquidity. So I love that you win or that you won with early mined profits in Chia, but I wasn't lining up to cash you out. I'm glad somebody else did, but couldn't have been me, right? No way. I was not feeling that at all. I gotta buy it. It's almost $2,000. Buy the top. Hurry. Nope. But somebody had to, and I'm glad you were benefited from it. But yeah, Chia, we got to see that $15 mark because then I can get some. And if you guys are holding on to some, sell me some OTC at $15. Gentleman's agreement. Or you can sell it to me for $15 now. And if you really want to. I kid. These are the jokes, guys. So. Witcherworks saying Filecoin is at $7. You would pick Chia over Filecoin. I just want to use the hardware. It's a fair point. I don't know that I would pick Chia over Filecoin in terms of the economics, and that's just it. I haven't created a hard drive mining profitability sheet in the same way that we have the GPU mining profitability sheet, and I'm not sure if there's a very good hard drive mining profitability site. Right? Right now, for example, if we go back to whattomine.com, there is no tab along the top here. See that? The GPU, ASIC, coins, et cetera, There's no tab for hard drive mining. So it's harder to keep some of that information in the easiest to use tools. If you guys know of a calculator that does show how to get the most bang for your buck in terms of Satoshis or dollars or cents per terabyte of hard drive space, versus one project versus another, please tell me. By all means, I'll highlight it here. Or if you're part of a team that's trying to build that, let me know. I'd love to highlight it. In the same way that, while we're just here riffing on this, there is ChiaCalculator.com. Should just be the .com. And ChiaCalculator.com. Let me flip that into dark mode before I switch over to it. I did most of my Chia content using this, right? So very easy to use calculator, and it shows us roughly how much you should be earning from each plotted terabyte of hard drive space. I don't think there's anything quite like this that gives you that comparative breakdown of Chia versus Filecoin versus Signum versus any of the forks of Chia, which you may be able to merge mine. But I know there are pools that do let you merge mine the Chia. That's why I brought that up, because I think there could be an easy path to getting all those forked rewards, and that might total more than just the Filecoin that you're earning day over day. But I don't know. I haven't put enough research into that to know for sure. That's just a hunch. So we got to find some tools. We got to find some validation, guys. Those are some breadcrumbs. Maybe you can help me find the next breadcrumbs. We get a little closer to the truth together on that. But yeah, Chia Calculator was a great tool. Really kind of nice to use at first. They even took some feedback that I gave them early on because the way that they had the projections mapped out on this site were not very accurate yet. It was a little misleading. So clearly a good team. Like I have no problem recommending their tool, but we need more tools like it. The unboxing project, good use of an old VNX SAN. That's awesome. Yeah, right? I mean, if you got hardware lying around, guys, shout out to Serpent X Special Forces, or Serpent X Tech, the Vega over at Serpent X Tech. Like, he was working a job where he was doing a storage dense server install, and they had spare hard drives. So, you know, I mean, he was contracting on this job, so he bought them back from the job, but he bought them at below MSRP because they got them wholesale, right? A huge lot of 10 terabyte hard drives wholesale. So he wound up with a bunch of brand new in Mylar bag 10 terabyte hard drives below wholesale or below MSRP, which at that time, because of the Chia, craze, that was something you couldn't find anymore. Everything was above MSRP. So yeah, he did really well because he got all those below MSRP and got all that brand new hardware, and it was mostly spinning flat or hard drives. It wasn't a bunch of like whatever SSDs that he had to like chew up and burn out doing the plotting. So I mean, he played that really smart, having either old hardware or new but below cost hardware. It was a lot smarter. Let's see. Witcherworks says the hardware requirement is much bigger for Filecoin, but I can go either way. It does seem like, yeah, Filecoin has that infrastructure play in terms of a product that's being offered right now. Now that you mention it, products being offered right now where there's utility in the project immediately. So if you have bigger infrastructure, maybe that does pay off better in the long run. Maybe. It's a strong point, though. Like you're saying, if you know you have what it takes to meet the minimum requirements for plotting or for proof of capacity or for being able to serve files from it, if you're actually already mirroring used storage on it, then I mean, shoot, again, this is why it's so important for you to know individually your situation and figure that out just for you. So good luck with that. It sounds like you may be getting closer to a decision. That's awesome. But CPU mining profitabilities, we still have Raptorium Epic Cache in the top, but 7-day is not so rosy. Madero got the least hurt, but everything is in the red. So kind of a bummer. Everything's CPU mineable. We love CPU mineable coins. They're fun. They keep things decentralized in their own way, but they're getting kind of hammered. It's a bummer to see. Interestingly, the total P&L is still up, right? Because of our two sort of tentpole projects, but that's just overall, right? Overall P&L. But the daily, no, we're down, and we're not down bad, but we're down, and it's still kind of bleeding out. Bummer for that. ASIC mineable coins also were up over 24 hours, but overall we're down. Over the last 7 days, we've seen a little bit of a lift, so let's see what's doing best. Looks like Grin, Decred, and Zcash, as well as TBTC. We've seen this a couple times where TBTC decouples from regular BTC. That's awesome. Look at that. See that? So TBTC, if you had the Ethereum token, TBTC, and I'm going to go ahead and pull this up on CoinGecko so you can see its ticker symbol. But if you had this particular token, here we go. Let me hop out of the way here. So TBTC, if you had this, there's not a whole lot of it. It's about $8 million worth of this. It's already been wrapped on Ethereum. And there's its token symbol. I'm not going to add it to MetaMask. I'm just going to check it out over on Etherscan. Yep. So Etherscan, we'll look up the token tracker. Oh, we're all blind. Why? Well, there you go, Etherscan. Thanks. But here we are on the token tracker. Not a whole lot of wallets that actually hold it right now, but it is wrapped Bitcoin, right? By any other name, it's wrapped Bitcoin. It's just a little more decentralized. Now, it's not supported by Tornado Cash. It's not supported by a lot of third-party exchanges, but there's probably, if we went and looked at it over on Uniswap, there's probably a liquidity pool for it. Should we take a look? Should we check it out live? I think we should. So, Gallo was blinded. I'm sorry, brother. Sorry I couldn't get the lights out fast enough. What have I done to my friends? All right, so over on Uniswap, we're going to launch the app. We're going to take a look for TBTC because now we are over on Etherscan. We have the contract address for this token. We can plug that in over on Uniswap. See, there's ETH, select a token. We can paste the address here, and now it automatically finds it. See that? Active. Why don't you just let me add it, weirdo? All right, fine. I'm going to go to our charts over on Uniswap. This will give us the info. Uniswap V3 may not have it listed. We might have to go to the Uniswap V2 charts. There we go. Yeah, looks like it doesn't. There are no pools that have this listed in them, so that's unfortunate. It should be traded somewhere. Nope, pretty much just on Gate.io and Kraken. What an utter disappointment. I mean that seriously. That's truly disappointing. Okay, going to nomics.com instead. Search this up. There we go. TBTC. There we go. And those are our pairs over on Uniswap V2. Thought it was on V2. So it's going to show. This is what I like about Nomics, by the way. It does a really good job of showing us liquidity in these markets. And that should be visible on the main token page as well over on Nomics. But you can see that price is pretty high. That's a premium over Ethereum right now. See that? Or over Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin is at 2269. And this token, right, the TBTC, 24K. Meaning, if you had been able to wrap some of your Bitcoin into this token, for whatever reason, it's trading at that premium above it. So as long as you hadn't lost too much in fees, you'd be up. Like if you had one full Bitcoin and you had wrapped it into the TBTC smart contract, that would have already put you up by about $1,000, a little over $1,000 for that one Bitcoin. If you could arbitrage your way out of that, then, you'd be in better shape. Now, at this point, I don't know when that divergence happened, when that arbitrage opportunity began, and I don't know how that would end. But the point is, you had an opportunity to get in with that, and these wrapped Bitcoin tokens, they do that every now and then. In the same way that GBTC decouples from the main price of Bitcoin as well, right? We see it pretty commonly in the managed fund space for Bitcoin. So it's pretty awesome to see that there are opportunities everywhere. We also have REN BTC, which is a lot closer to the Bitcoin price. See that? It's almost lockstep. And then we should have WBTC here as well. Why did I take WBTC off of here? What just happened? Why is it gone? Come on now. You know what? WBTC. Come on back. There it is. Wrapped Bitcoin is back on the menu, boys. Come on, show me. Okay. But it's pretty awesome to see that you still have opportunities to gain more. If you already have some coins lying around that you want to wrap into tokens, you have that opportunity to do even better by wrapping them and then possibly using them for liquidity. Going back over to Nomics, though, we'll wait for that to come back. I'm going to go to markets right here and see where it's being. Okay, so it looks like it's primarily, just spot trading. And, oh my gosh, the volume is so low. It is so low for this token. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and plug that in one more time and then go to Uniswap V2. Look at that market. It's weird that it just didn't show. TBTC price. That's funny that it's marked in ETH. It's got an ETH price. So we're measuring wrapped Bitcoin in its ETH price. What is this world coming to? Good grief. Okay, it looks like it did have a market, and that market pretty much just kind of disappeared at this point. There's no volume here. Okay, that's my mistake. All right, so that was it as of several days ago. So there could have been some kind of a liquidity pool available on Uniswap V2 because it's permissionless, anyone can make them. And it looks like there aren't that many people who are buying it. So yeah, maybe it's an opportunity, but maybe not. So good luck finding a buyer for that, I guess, if you have it. Looks like SBTC is actually trading below the price of wrapped Bitcoin, and wrapped Bitcoin WBTC is trading just a little bit above the normal Bitcoin price. So just saying, a little bit nerdy, guys. Again, a little bit nerdy, but this is stuff that we need to know if we want to be good users of this tech. All right, that's our ASIC mining portfolio. Let's go to our FPGA mining portfolio. Let me know in the chat, guys. Was that helpful? Do you like taking a look at some of that stuff? Slightly deeper dive. A little bit nerdy, but it does help educate anybody in the audience who's not familiar with it. It does help me kind of go through some of those motions and demonstrate for people in the audience who don't know how to find the right info, how you find the right info, right? We found a ticker symbol that we were tracking in a portfolio that anybody can use using free tools. And we noticed that there was a price discrepancy. And so we clicked through and found the smart contract address of that token because it's an ERC20 token on Ethereum. And with that smart contract address, we were able to look up all kinds of info across multiple other resources because the smart contract address is a fixed piece of info, right? That's where that token lives. That is that smart contract. So that's how it's issued. So we can always find out information about it that way. Was that helpful to anybody here? Do you do that? Did you know how to do that? Should I do a video that's kind of just that, but really tactical, where I have like, visual aids and maybe a whiteboard or something? Would that be helpful? Because I do this stuff kind of nonchalant as though like everybody who's watching knows. And I know that can't be true. Not everybody knows, all this stuff. So you tell me in the chat, do you think that would help some beginner users? I think a lot of the people in this chat are kind of familiar with it, but would that be helpful, do you think? Let me know. All right. Back over to FPGA mining portfolio. Cadena is still kicking butt, 200% up, not doing bad at all. The unboxing guide has some feedback there. Let me go into our 7-day performance, though. We've got Teller up. We've got 0x Bitcoin up. We've got Cadena up. We've got Digibyte up. What's going on here? Why is this side of the portfolio up and winning so hard? Teller is doing pretty well, though. And again, these are not bad projects. They have higher market cap. Handshake, I'm still surprised, is not doing as well as I think it should. The fact that you can go to namecheap.com right now and buy a Handshake, an HNS domain, right? You can do that top level domain. You can buy it for like 9 years or like 10 years for the price of a regular .com or a regular .xyz and walk away owning it on chain. It's crazy to me that it's not already doing so much better. In fact, I should probably do a tutorial on buying one of those just because it's easy. Not even because like I know anybody at Handshake or because I think that it's the best project, but just because it's easy to do, right? Like ENS is easy to use. HNS is even easier. You can use PayPal to buy, to pay for an HNS site, right? The Handshake name service site, that top level domain. So easy stuff, man. I don't know why more people are not using it. All right, so that's our FPGA mining portfolio in a nutshell. Proof of stake smart contracts. While that pulls up, we're going to take a look at the unboxing project. Says would love to see a hardware guide sometime. Maybe some more obscure gear. Super secret sleeper ASICs, FPGA program guide, etc. Well, I appreciate you saying that. I think some of the FPGA, like the super secret guides. The problem is that with FPGAs, they're so esoteric that you can make them very super secret. There are some Discord servers that are really good about that, but even the people who are like the best in class with using this stuff, they're so secretive that they sell things like bit streams privately only to large farms. So I could do an expose on that, though, if you'd like. I can talk about the process for how to find that stuff, but it wouldn't be a how-to per se on how to program your own custom bit streams or learning the Verilog programming language or anything like that. It would be a lot more along the lines of like, this is the street corner you go to find the guy with the trench coat that has all the FPGAs and all the programs. Would that work? Let me know. Because that's a cool idea. I like what you just mentioned there, and it would be fun, right? Like we could do that the right way. But proof of stake smart contracts, Avalanche handily beating Solana. It's been in the number one spot for a little while, but it's maintained that dominance, especially as of the last couple of days, right? Since our last live stream, we see that that's maintained its spot. But the very top spot, yep, it's Avalanche. From our P&L perspective, looking at the 7-day, we got BNB up, Internet Computer up, Phantom, Wax, Tokamak all up. It's cool to see Wax in the top 5 for something, and I guess 7-day gains, not bad. The unboxing project, you like that analogy? Good, because that's kind of how it is, man. There are a lot of people who you're never going to meet in real life anywhere else, and that's kind of how that economy works for FPGAs. But yeah, 7 days looking pretty good for these projects above. Looking pretty terrible for these projects below. EOS, I don't know why it is getting so much hate right now. I'm about to eat some crow on EOS. And here's what I mean. In the face of Solana's network insecurity, in the face of all of these seed phrases being hacked by a bad wallet developer, right, by poor wallet development practices, in the face of, having the validator network reset so many times and having people just get so wrecked on Solana, kind of makes you appreciate EOS, right? our main gripe about EOS was that, like, okay, you raised $4 billion. Oh my gosh, who raises $4 billion? That's too much. Like, we were all upset that they raised VC capital and that they raised angel investment. And at that time in blockchain, that was kind of a new thing, right? Like, so EOS, kind of a bad boy, right? In that way, broke the rules of decentralization, broke the rules of being cypherpunk, and they took money to develop. That's bad. Yes, infinite emission, infinite supply. If you look at it over the long term, not a fixed capped supply. But they took investment capital. That was the big thing we were all so upset about. And they took about $4 billion worth of investment capital. They're currently valued at just over $1 billion, $1.2 billion, but they still have healthy trading volume on a regular basis. And so our gripes were VC capital, so VC backing, and then proof of stake, delegated proof of stake at that. They were the first to do GPOS in a big way. I knew somebody who was working to become a block producer, one of the 21 block producers of EOS. You can see that interview of mine with oh my gosh, I'm drawing blank. It's so bad on my friend's name. We were colleagues at DreamWorks Animation, but I did an interview with him on my other channel back in 2018. EOS was a big deal. It was the great hope, right, of blockchain to be able to do low fees and, you know, low carbon emissions, low carbon footprint. A lot of people were excited about it, but those of us in the proof of work space were like, oh, heresy. Proof of work works. Why would we do that? Right? And think of decentralization. Think of censorship resistance. Think of all the stuff that matters in blockchain. Well, fast forward to today, dude, we threw all that crap out the window with Solana. We were like, oh yeah, well, the EOS was crap, but Solana's a good idea. Let's do that. It's like the same thing, right? The same old crap. Like, we just decide that it's somehow better. The difference is, and I'm going to backpedal a little bit, EOS hasn't broken. What do you do with that, right? EOS hasn't broken. Solana has, multiple times, in multiple ways, getting people wrecked. But EOS hasn't broken, and EOS was successfully forked into Wax. And Wax successfully brought on board all the major brands of the world to create NFTs. And even small-time creators with those low fees who were okay with some of the KYC on-ramps. They made those those compromises to have the censorship resistance down the line after some of their NFTs were then launched. It's really more KYC for the creators than it is for the other users to kind of like cut to the chase there. But EOS was a necessary stepping stone to bring Wax into the marketplace. The unboxing project brings some facts here in the chat. Says hasn't broken yet. That's true. But the point is, it hasn't broken in 4 years. So even Ethereum has had some issues, right, with Geth not being updated across the validator network fast enough. So Ethereum has broken in that time, even while it was on proof of work. Bitcoin, in that same time, had a hidden inflation bug, which, by the way, was only patched because of the goodwill of other developers, letting them know by doing a responsible disclosure. Monero had, not the same order of problems. It did have a hidden inflation bug back at that time that was responsibly disclosed and patched. The Zero Coin protocol was totally compromised, so every single project that was using the Zero Coin protocol, including Zcoin, right, which then rebranded to Firo, had to drop that. And then PivX, right, as well, that was using the Zero Coin protocol. So many other protocols kind of like had serious problems. EOS's DPoS consensus hasn't been a problem. Cosmos and Tendermint, they were just white papers back in the day. They didn't have a whole lot that was actually delivered by way of product. Now is IBC. It seems to be running pretty well too. As long as you're not trying to, do like under collateralized stables, right? Or like overpromise your rewards, like Anchor Protocol and Luna. That's different. That's not IBC. That's not any fault of Cosmos. But EOS just ran. It just ran. So here it is. Yeah. Here it is. Still just running. Let's take a look at their Block Explorer real fast, guys. We've got a couple of Block Explorers here. EOS Flare, EOS Spark, Energy Network. Wait a second, that's not right. What the heck? Yeah, let's just go with blocks. Okay, blocks. Show us what you got, blocks. Okay, so taking a look at the current max transactions per second, get almost 4,000 transactions per second, and it looks like it's only running at about 10 to 14. So asking about load, yeah, it's not under extreme load, but let's be very clear. That's the same load as Ethereum if there's no backlog. So it's running under the same load as Ethereum. What do we do with that? And can it scale all the way up to the current load of, say, something like Binance Smart Chain, Polygon, Avalanche, Phantom, Energy Web, as mentioned before, Arbitrum, Optimism, all of those combined? Actually, yes, it can. It can scale up to all of those combined based on its current max TPS. Is this me actually advocating for EOS as a good project? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. That's not it, guys. I'm just saying that it can run. It can run at scale. And it has run at scale. It has run at scale. I'm tired, guys. I'm a bit tired today. I'm not going to lie. I'm actually a little bit not taking perfect care of myself. Remind me to do a workout tomorrow. You mind, guys? Thanks. Oh, you won. All right, so yeah, guys, I'm just saying that EOS is running. Solana is breaking. That's it. That's all I'm saying. EOS is running. Solana is breaking. EOS is running at as it's intended. EOS was successfully forked into Wax and running as many NFTs as Solana has ever had. And it's running as it's intended. They're also super centralized and not censorship resistant. That was my takeaway right there. That's the punchline, is that they're also super centralized and do not really allow you to resist authorities or people who you disagree with, right? So that's the unfortunate reality there. If you want speed, you tend to sacrifice decentralization and censorship resistance. Speed and scale, right? And because you go to that logical extreme of speed and scale, and what do you have? AWS, Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, just throwing it out there, though, that EOS is doing. EOS was the original Solana, only it doesn't keep breaking. Weird, right? Weird. So it's kind of sad to see it down in the dumps when, in the same territory as Solana, when it's not breaking. It didn't do anything wrong other than just, be more centralized and be less censorship resistant. It didn't do anything wrong. It did everything it claimed it was going to do. Solana's the one that's out here breaking promises, and their whole group breaking promises about whether or not they're actually safe and actually going to have uptime, right? So those things are definitely a broken promise. EOS always had its white paper. It always had its scope. It always laid out exactly what it was going to be. It never hid the fact that it had any kind of VC involvement or investment, or that it had a sort of corporate state structure to it. Like, that was all understood. Those were all parts of the EOS ecosystem. So yeah, like that's what I'm getting at. It didn't pretend to be something that it wasn't, and it's done a good job of just being what it claimed to be. So yeah, EOS, sorry you're getting hurt right now. I'm not going to buy any still, but I'm sorry you're getting hurt right now. Your price action anyway. That's our proof of stake smart contracts, guys. Junk drawer. What does the junk drawer have for us today? Sites to my Inu, of course, always kicking butt. Everrise, Floki Inu, Luffy Inu, etc., etc. Let's take a look at the 7-day, though. Give us better intel there. Oh, the unboxing project says it's not Azure, it's Azure. Like Wingardium Leviosa, not Wingardium Leviosa. Duh. Here's the thing, man. It really depends on who you ask, right? Doesn't it? Doesn't it kind of? Little bit? Sort of? Azure. Microsoft Azure. Surely, my good man. You must know it's Microsoft Azure. They won't let you use it unless you say it right, old chap. I do appreciate you. Thanks. All right, guys. Biggest winner this week has been Bone by Shiba Schwab. Schwab. You like the way I say that? Shiba Shawarma. It looks like, meat on a bone. But up 58%. What does that mean for our portfolio? Not much. If you put some in at the time that we had a portfolio entry, you would have gotten wrecked. Anyway, Caspa, we only added this recently. We did not put in a portfolio entry. But the bottom line is there's a lot of coins here that are just not doing their best, right? If you were hodling any of these coins, these speculative coins, That was ill-advised, and I said so when they were in the profit, right? So we do have that going for us as a community, was that, like, again, without giving financial advice, I just issued the warning. Hey, if the profits are good, maybe take some now. Maybe don't wait, because you could get wrecked. The unboxing project. Dude, you have to do that whole show. He says, you have to do that whole show at BitBoy Crypto in that accent. That made me lol way too hard. Should I? Could I get away with it? I say, maybe I could. You know what? We'll try it. One of these days soon, we'll do it. All right, that's a solid idea. I mean, the problem is that then I go back and they're like, hey, do Christopher Walken. It's every time, right? It's like, you can do Christopher Walken, right? I'm like, I don't want to do Christopher Walken. Nobody wants that. Anyway. Yeah, it gets weird with the voices because they're always running inside my head, right? I never get a break. I do not have a moment's rest. So, gotta let them out only every now and then. Can't let them out too often because then they run the show. All right. These are jokes. I don't actually hear voices in my head. Please don't call the cops. All right. My kids are in the other room like, too late, Dad. We got it on film. So, we got a lot of these speculative coins that have done okay. They've done all right. But in the portfolio, again, still not doing great. If you got profits in UFO Gaming, Luffy, Inu, et cetera, I guess any of these other coins, but without giving financial advice, I strongly encourage you to consider taking profits. You can. If you have those profits there, don't wait to finish getting wrecked. Figure out how much profit you want to take or you can take without wrecking the project and consider it. All right, IBC Gang. What do we got? Everything in the red. Yep, except for Cadena. Cadena's doing all right. 7-day, Shen2, and I forget how we got this one into the portfolio. CTK. Somebody mentioned specifically the ticker symbol, CTK. That's how we got it in. And I don't remember exactly what it does. Without doing a deep dive here, man, it has got a strong market cap. What is going on here? How did I manage to not know anything about this and put it in the portfolio? Wow. Yeah. A cross-chain protocol with security scoring and decentralized reimbursements for building secure dApps. All right. Now that's a decent proposed reason for being. It looks like a lot of the volume is primarily on Binance, BingX, Mexi Global. It looks like they say they've got a high trust score. We can never really know for sure. There could be a little bit of manipulation there to ensure the price looks good, right, on paper. But then Explorers, it has its own Explorer Atom Scan as well. We're going to go to Atom Scan, I think, to check this one out just a little bit. Oh, sorry, no dark mode. Wrecked. Oh, and that's not great. This is not a bad... Dude, this is a great IBC Block Explorer. Look at that. It's got Sommelier, Stargaze, Terra Classic, Osmos. Everything's here. The gang's all here, right, on the on Atom Scan. Like, I know that there are others as well, but man, Atom Scan, why you gotta have no dark mode? Why would you do this? Seriously. But yeah, it looks like, shoot. Okay. Man. Shen2 Technology. Man, somebody recommended this, and now I don't remember who. Provable trust for all. On-chain safeguards to provide security insights and prevent attacks in real time. Wow. I know, guys. I know. We go from dark mode to this nonsense, this BS. Shame on you as well, Shen2, for having no dark mode. Shame on me for not having Dark Reader installed. Jeez. It looks like, yeah, I don't have auto dark mode enabled either on this browser, but I mean, it looks like it's very promising. So I know why it made it into the portfolio. That's why it's there. It definitely earned its spot, and it's up big time this week. I mean, especially after a hack. I get it, right? You have a security breach, you have a security problem, right, with a wallet or a bridge or anything else. Yeah, you're going to get firms like this. You're going to get projects like this getting some love. people saying like, hey, we need your product to go to market right away, it's going to get valued a little bit higher. I get it. I do. I think it probably deserves that lift. Now, is it still down from our initial input? Yeah, it totally is. But it's one of the least damaged projects, right? It's number 2 right behind Cadena. So that's exciting to see. Guys, very, very cool. Akash Network also coming up just a little bit. That decentralized infrastructure is very, very powerful, and a lot of people are really looking for that. But I think we need to weigh this against Flux Network. I still wish that Daniel Keller would have come to a debate, a friendly debate, moderated debate with me and with Greg Osuri from the Akash Network. It kind of fell through last minute. It would have been really helpful to have, because I want to see how they complement each other, not how they're direct competitors. And I think there are ways that they do complement each other, or ways in which they could provide redundancy for each other and decentralization of protocols for each other. I mean, right? Doesn't a consortium make more sense than a competition? I think it does. Just extend the usefulness of some of the node network that Akash controls and that Flux controls. Standardize some of the ways to deploy and coordinate that, like the orchestration layer, the DevOps process for deploying hardware across these two projects. Like, I would love to see something like that, because they need to have the best of IBC and the best of proof of work working together to ensure fault tolerance. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm too much of an idealist, but I would have loved to see them talk about it anyway. Would have been cool. So moving on from the IBC Gang into the Tenset Gems, these projects, Meta Heroes up over the last 7 days. Everything, we're only tracking the 7-day. We could go back and do a portfolio entry, but yeah, we're only tracking the raw costs at this point. Oh my gosh, the unboxing project has thrown a curveball at me. I'll get to that in just a minute here. Let me go through a couple of things here on the portfolio. Meta Hero is in the money, thanks. And Fame, it's just continuous dumping. It's not looking great. Fame, stop tanking. I want you to do well. My bags, Fame, why would you do this to me? I'm never going to financially recover from this. All right. Tenset Gems not doing their finest, but I still have faith in the gang over at Tenset and the Robert Grin community, the Robert Grin team of builders. All right, stables, we got to do it. Why have we got to do it? Because we need to watch the watchmen. Who's the watchman? The people who say stables are worth anything. What a world. This is where we are, though. Okay, we got to take a look. We've got to make sure that the dollars are actually worth dollars. So looks like everything is pretty much maintaining its peg, but in particular USDD looks like it's maintaining its peg at about $750 million, right? $750 million definitely helped. Oh, did we have somebody shilling in the comments? Did that just happen for the first time? Oh my gosh. Woo. Do I get to? Oh, yeah. Oh, perfect. Sorry about that, Schiller. Sorry for the interruption to the live stream. Just going to quickly moderate that. But currently, USDD, as you know, this is an over-collateralized stablecoin for Tron. And I think I said it last time that we did a live stream. I suspect that it has to maintain about that supply, because I think there's only that much Tron that is in circulation, and and all of the tokens that can be used to back USDD. It's only got so many tokens in circulation to be able to give it its backstop, its over-collateralized position, right? So the collateralized debt position that creates the stablecoin itself, you need so much collateral. And after that point, there's not enough collateral to also have enough coins there or tokens there out in circulation for there to be a healthy market. You get past that point, and it's like, you're gonna cause problems with the main token, and you're going to cause problems with the stablecoin itself. We definitely saw that with the Anchor Protocol and with UST over on Terra Luna. And with USDD, they're offering higher rewards, but they're also over-collateralizing more. So will it crash harder? Will it crash the same? Will it not crash at all? Those are the three questions. Those are three possible outcomes. I think that it is quite possible that it does kind of quietly crash early, and that it possibly already has, and that it's propped up internally because it's mostly a means to preserve the treasury of the Tron group, and maybe even just Justin Sun himself. I don't know, maybe. But I think that that's kind of the long and the short of that, just like structured in such a way that it's not too big to fail. It's just very intricate, and it's going to give a few people really high rewards, that 30%, if they can hang on to them. But most people won't feel the liquidation because it's really kind of designed to be more of a propping mechanism for that treasury. SUSD, it's sus, the SUSD. Not a whole lot going on there. Not bad, though. Liquidity USD is also coming up in its total market cap. Not quite at $1 billion for those, for any of these, and that's kind of sad to see, but Liquidity is a solid protocol that has gotten a lot of attention since the Liquid Loans team proposed forking it and adapting it for the upcoming Pulse Chain launch. I know when I interviewed the Liquid Loans group, my very first question was, really, let's talk about threats. Let's talk about what could potentially get in the way of this project succeeding. Well, one of those things would be if the Liquidity project itself decided to support Pulse Chain directly. Let's talk about that, guys. Let's talk about that, Mind Your Biz fam. Well, Liquidity, it's only on Ethereum, right? Wrong. It's on Polygon as well. The moment that they saw that there was any kind of a motion to fork their code base to accommodate and to support Pulse Chain, they said, people want low fees and they want a means to over-collateralize a stablecoin. Like, not do the risky UST thing, Anchor Protocol thing, but have an over-collateralized debt position that creates a stablecoin that they can then use. So you give us $300 worth of Ethereum, we give you $100. Okay, seems harmless, right? Ethereum would have to drop by over 66%, right? In order for your position to be liquidated. That's kind of how Liquidity works. Kinda, right? A little bit. Ozzy Bogan Tech asked about, did you talk about the rumor proof of work Ethereum fork? I did. And we'll talk about that again in a minute. But Liquidity, guys, stablecoins, I just don't. Yeah. It's a good protocol. Same with Frax. Liquidity and Frax both seem to work. They don't appear to be broken. Now, am I endorsing them? No, but they're just stable coins, right? Like they're something that you might only have to use for a short period of time. It used to be understood that you would only hold on to stable coins for short periods of time while you were on chain to be able to execute your trades, and then you wouldn't hold your profits in stable coins for forever. Maybe we'll return to that in the future. So yeah, we'll see. Ozzy Bogan Tech asks, did you talk about the rumor proof of work Ethereum fork? Yes, I did briefly, and that might happen. I can see that there might be some people who do decide to mine to that fork, but here's the problem. We would need to have a bridge that immediately makes, or some kind of exchange that supports all of the liquidity coming out of that fork and is willing to back that against the value of the main Ethereum chain, because that's realistically what most of us will be after, or willing to do something along the lines of unmineable, right? The Unmineable Coins project. So if we go to unmineable, is it unmineable.com? Yeah, it is unmineable.com. So going back over to, man, why don't they have a dark mode either? But dude, nobody has a dark mode. F you guys. You're the worst. I'm just kidding, not the worst, but that's painful. So yeah, we talked about this briefly, but here's the thing, unmineable. You'd have to have something along these lines where your hash rate could go to it and they're willing to take on the liquidity that comes out of pooling everybody's hash rate and then give you some kind of coin you actually want, right? Or you'd have to know there's some way to have it all sold off on some kind of exchange and maybe even mine directly to the exchange. We've done that back in the past. There's not as big a need now. But yeah, it could be a serious problem, actually, if people do decide to pursue that fork. Could be a serious problem. And the biggest problem, in my opinion, is, drum roll, stables. Yep. So when it comes to stables, if you don't have any of these tokens, the top ones, right? Tether USDT or USDC, DAI, Frax, TUSD, Pax Dollar, etc. A lot of these. Even BUSD has an Ethereum version, right? It has an Ethereum supply. All of these are supported by Ethereum. What happens when they shut off any of their contracts on a contentious hard fork, like they're going to do with Pulse Chain? Well, it means that these stablecoins only live on the beacon chain merge, right? On the merge chain. So that merge chain is going to become like the main source of truth. Now, they won't take any meaningful amount of volume locked away from Ethereum when that happens. So we'd have to know that for a short time, that chain is profitable. We mine that initial launch, right? And then we sell, we bug out, right? We bone out of there as fast as we can with our mining rigs, and we sell the initial listing dump. Or the initial listing pump we sell, and we try not to get caught up in the dump. Unfortunately, that's like the only play we have if that fork goes through, my friends. Like, you heard it here first. If that happens, we are all going to be involved in a pump and dump, whether we like it or not. The question is, will we be involved in taking profits or getting dumped on afterwards? The choice will be yours. So, I don't see an easy way out of that problem. And I think that a proof of work fork of Ethereum is going to initially give us financial problems, right? Not actually solve our problems for ongoing mining rewards and profitability. Anyway, I know it's a dim view. It's a very, very, very like pessimistic view, but that's realistically how I see it, guys. Yeah. So anyway, those are our stables. Liquidity, again, I was just impressed when I saw it on Polygon Scan, when it launched on Polygon. Dang, man, what's going on? None of my cookies are set here. All this stuff should be in night mode. Sorry, dudes. Sorry. I'm so sorry. So yeah, oh my gosh. And of course on Polygon Scan, it's got like all of like $700. $700 worth of this stable coin. So the rest of this entire market cap, the almost $200 million, is all on Ethereum. But they did deploy it, or maybe it's just wrapped, I guess. Maybe it's just a wrapped token. Maybe it's just a bridge token. Maybe it's not actually the main contract. Maybe there isn't a way to wrap or to trade your collateral on Polygon to get these stables. But point is, it does exist there too. So there are some stables that I think are possibly worth considering. And we have to keep watching that USDE to make sure it doesn't ever drift away from where it should be. All right, guys, let's talk about our GPU Ethereum replacements. Rounded off with this: Ethereum Classic, Ravencoin, Flux, Ergo, and Firo. Is this a complete list? No way. It can't be. We got to look for stuff that is GPU based, that is GPU mineable. And we've got to figure out, does anything else belong on this list? As it is right now, Ethereum Classic, it's kind of the top pick because of market cap and developer confidence, right? More developers can port more code onto Ethereum Classic than to Ravencoin, its next closest competitor, which, by the way, is only 90% of the market cap. Or, 10% of the market cap. It's got 90% of the market cap chopped off, not even at the knees, at the ankles, right? So Ravencoin is not even close to having the same amount of TVL, and this TVL is going to be necessary for people who want to build code and projects on that chain to say like, well, if I sold an NFT there, how many millions of dollars worth of NFTs could I sell? In the case of Ravencoin, you can only sell, a few $100 million NFTs, if that, because you're going to have a lot of whales that are keeping all that liquidity. On Ethereum Classic, you can sell hundreds, right? Hundreds, a couple $1,000 million NFTs. Right now, you could sell a couple thousand, and you would eat into the total market cap, but you wouldn't tank it. And that would be a net lift to this ecosystem without the whole like broken Windows theory. And we're not destroying something internally in the system to then like fictionally make like more value out of nothing. The point is like the value has to be there originally, and people have to be willing to spend it on the thing that they value. So Ethereum Classic kind of has that in place. Some of the economics, right? They kind of lend themselves to being able to build there. And Ravencoin doesn't have that. Not enough. Flux has utility. It's just not the same thing, right? So you can have other projects outside of crypto deploying their cloud infrastructure on Flux maybe. So very different proposition. You don't have people running their code on Flux necessarily in the same way. They're smart contracts, etc. So not the same proposition. Ergo, probably a better bet. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but Ergo in this list, in my mind, is the only other competitor to Ethereum Classic. But then you have to be okay with living on Cardano and being part of the Cardano ecosystem. Firo, it's on the list. It will give profits. I don't think any of these are going to go away. And for GPU mining, they're all going to continue to turn out profits, in my opinion. I think they're all going to absorb some of the net hash from Ethereum. But as far as there being like a winner, a big winner that takes away a lot of hash rate and has a lot more participation and gets a really big market cap boost and really big coin value boost and more developer love, like, still hard to say. But yeah, it probably is Ethereum Classic and Ergo that are really the only two that have all the characteristics that would help that happen. All right, guys, I hope that today's episode has been helpful for you. Unboxing Project Ask, doesn't Charles Hoskinson run Ethereum Classic now too? IOHK, his company, has been the main contributor to Ethereum Classic for years. So yeah, which also means that there are pull requests that go from them into the Ethereum core developers, right? And vice versa. So he's had his finger on the pulse of what's happening at Ethereum the entire time. He positioned himself perfectly to steal, right? To copy and steal code directly from Ethereum. They even have an EVM chain that is being used for scaling on Cardano right now, which again, I called EVM kicks ass. Sorry to put it that way, but EVM kicks ass. Everybody wants to use it. Even Cardano wants to use it there in EVM because it kicks that much ass. So Ergo might actually be a better option, even than Cardano directly. We'll see. Maybe. We'll have to keep revisiting this. Let me know if you, in the comments, have any suggestions for me to add other projects to this list. We should try to make some educated guesses about this before the merge happens. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching to the end on the new channel. You the real MVP. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you making this change with me, trying this new thing out, promoting the channel. Let's have that serious talk about having that DAO formed for this channel and the Mind Your Biz community so that we can benefit together moving into the future with this new channel and improving the visibility of it and the content on it. You're the reason I make this media. I love your face. Remember to stay private and mind your biz.